So now we're going to take a moment and just talk about how to succeed. And I think this is a really good thing to spend 5 or 10 minutes with, because it's my job as your teacher to help you succeed in this course, to help you learn this material. And I see this kind of like the analogy of a coach. And if you have a great coach, it's your coach's job to help you become a better athlete, to succeed at whatever sport you're doing. And I think of myself as a teacher, I think of myself like a coach. You know, it's my job to help you to succeed in this sport of academia, in this sport of learning. And there's actually some things you could do to increase your likelihood of success. And so having a good coach, having a good teacher is really important, because they'll show you, like, this is what you could do to succeed at this endeavor, whether it's soccer or basketball or football or swimming or surfing or learning. Any of those, there are certain things you could do to do them more effectively and to get better at them more quickly. And so I just want to share some of that research-backed information. This is backed by research with you. What you could do to succeed in this course. And the principles I'm going to share are also principles that will help you succeed in life. So, the first thing is I'm going to teach you how to tell the future. And you can tell the future by looking really closely. You don't need a crystal ball, right? All you have to do is look really closely at the seeds which you're planting today. So if you plant the right seeds today, that's going to be the crop which you harvest tomorrow. And this is age-old wisdom. In some traditions, they talk about this as that which you sow, so shall you reap. And basically, it's like, what seeds are you sowing? What seeds are you planting? And if you plant the right seeds today, you're going to harvest a great crop tomorrow. If you plant the right seeds today, you're going to harvest a great crop tomorrow. So that's like the first principle. It's just like every day, realize that you are cultivating the garden, which is your life. And that actually takes some effort. And if you just sit on the couch and watch TV and eat Fritos and drink Coke, you're not planting seeds which are going to result in a good crop in the future. But if every day you put in the effort and the time to go out into your garden and to tend your garden and to water the plants and to continue to plant good seeds and to remove everything which isn't beneficial in your garden, to remove that which is unskillful, the weeds, if we were to follow this analogy, right? Remove those. You're going to have a good garden. And then you're going to realize a good crop if you do that every day. Just go out and work the garden. And that's actually the research-backed #1 factor for success for students. It's not your intelligence. It's not who your parents were. It's not what culture you come from. The #1 factor for student success is grit. I don't know why I can't talk this morning. It's grit. It's straight out persistence. It's just doing it every day. It's getting out there in the garden and working the garden. And so if you do that every day, if you have grit and persistence and you train every day, you work in the garden every day, you practice, you study, you try coding, you learn, you watch these videos, if you work towards your goal, whatever your goal is, every day, put in time, that is the greatest predictor for success. And that's backed by research, and the person who did that research is Angela Duckworth. And she has a great TED Talk. And so we'll just look that up here, TED Talk, Angela Duckworth, and I'll link that for you in the course outline. And we'll grab it off of YouTube, because I think that YouTube streams better than boom, right there. So bam, we'll put that into the course outline right here, Grit, Angela Duckworth, Angela Duckworth. So now you're going to have access to that video, and it's a good little video to watch. So that's the #1 factor, is every day plant the right seeds, have persistence, have grit, don't give up, keep doing it. That's the #1 predictor for student success. And some of these other ones are also pretty related to everything I just said. So I'm just going to change the order of this right here. The next one I'll put is time on task. And so time on task is also really important. So every day you want to do it, and every day you want to spend some time on task. If you want to get good at shooting hoops, you got to get out there and you got to shoot hoops every day. If you want to get good at programming, you got to sit down and do some programming every day. And so just every day, set aside a certain amount of time and then do it. And I'm going to speak to the level of commitment, right? Like, so how do you make that commitment? How do you focus on making that a priority in your life? And at one point in my life, I became really interested in seeing what enlightenment was and seeing if I could realize enlightenment. I know that sounds kind of ludicrous, but I figured, well, other people have done it, then, anybody could do it, and I'm part of anybody, so maybe I can. And so I read and researched and learned all about these different religious traditions and what enlightenment might be. And it became apparent that silence and meditation and having a contemplative practice was a big part of that. So I devoted myself every day to meditating 1 hour a day. This is when I was a bachelor and before I had kids and a family. But every day I would meditate 1 hour. And that was my highest priority. And if I missed it one day for some reason, maybe it was Christmas and family was in town, I would make it up the next. So not one day went by where I didn't get an hour of meditation. Even if I missed that day, I'd make it up the next, but every day equaled 1 hour of meditation. And so that level of fierce commitment and devotion allowed me for 7 years to meditate every day for an hour. That's sitting there with my eyes shut for an hour. And as to whether or not did I reach enlightenment, that's going to be another course. I'm actually writing the course outline for that right now. So that's the importance of focus, right? So you want to have grit, you want to put in your time every day, just get out in that garden and work, and you want to be focused, like have that commitment where you don't give up, that devotion. And Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, two of the world's most financially successful individuals, right, contributed greatly to economy and society. They both said that this ability to focus, being able to have this type of focus, was the number one factor for their success. So I think that's pretty cool. Another great Bill Gates quote is that if you want to be successful, get in front of what's coming and let it hit you. If you want to be successful, get in front of what's coming and let it hit you. And I also really like this quote because I believe the Go programming language is very much what's coming and it's just going to continue to grow. And by learning it, it's only going to serve you well. So a few other things which have been really helpful to me in my life. I like this 7 Habits of Highly Effective People from Stephen Covey. And here's a link to it so you have the graphic of it if you want to take a look at it, including the PSD. So I actually have this printed out on the wall of my office. And these first 3 principles, he says them in kind of funny words. Be proactive. That just means move towards your goal. Do something. Get out there in the garden of life, right? Be proactive. Don't just sit on the couch. Begin with the end in mind. You need to have a goal. You need to know where you're going. So your goal in this course is to learn the Go programming language, right? You got to begin with the end in mind. And then put first things first. You want to focus. You want to prioritize. Don't like, if your goal is to learn the Go programming language, don't be like, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow, because then you're never going to get there. Put first things first. Your goal is to learn the language, so every day, get out there and do it and make sure you're making that your highest priority. And then the rest of these principles are, I think, just good principles. And some of them, I just put them into my words, like be kind. And then the last thing I want to share with you is just some things 2 of my teachers shared with me in life. So one teacher used to say to me, drop by drop, the bucket gets filled. Because it could seem like a long journey when you're starting a new endeavor, whether it's swimming or learning to play basketball or learning to play the guitar, which is something I've been trying to do since my mid-20s, right? I just haven't made it a high priority because, other stuff happens. But drop by drop, the bucket gets filled. So every day you add those drops, and after 3 months, you might look in your bucket and be like, man, there's not much water in there. But after 3 years, your bucket's going to be so full. And after 10 years, you're going to be an expert in that. And so that is the 10-year rule is Outliers book by, what's his name? Malcolm Gladwell. So Malcolm Gladwell wrote this book, Outliers. And that book is all about what makes people successful. And it's basically 10 years, 4 hours a day. And if you do something 4 hours a day for 10 years, you'll be an expert in it. So drop by drop, that bucket gets filled. And then I had another teacher who would say in this really deep, resonant, slow voice, persistently, patiently, you are bound to succeed. Persistently, patiently, you are bound to succeed. And so it's just like you'd be sitting there, you'd be working, and then he'd say that, and it just like detonate in your mind. And you'd lay down to go to bed at night, and you'd hear, persistently, patiently, you are bound to succeed. And so that's also, I think, just another way of saying the same thing. Man, be persistent. Be patient, and you're bound to succeed. Plant the right seeds. Have persistence and grit. Don't give up. Make it a priority. Get out there in the garden of life and tend that garden every day and cultivate it, nurture it, and you are going to realize a great crop, a great harvest. So those are the keys to success in this class and in life. It's just doing it every day, just doing the work. That's what it comes down to, and trying to find the enjoyment in the process. Because we all have to find a way to contribute to the human race and to make ourselves valuable members of the society where we add value to the lives of others and our collective human experience. And so programming is one of the most wonderful ways you could do that, because the skill of programming allows you to recreate, to destroy and build new industries, and to provide efficiencies and to make people's lives better. It's truly amazing. So these are the principles for success. I hope they are helpful to you. They've been helpful to me, and I hope they're helpful to you.